Hey everybody, I'm John Renton with the channel update in regards to the future of this channel as well as a little bit of real talk. Do want to say right out of the gate, do not fret, do not worry. Channel content will still be posted. I apologize for causing any fretting and worrying. I never want to do that. I just want to, entertain people and share my passion for professional wrestling and movies because I've loved both forms of media pretty much since, my first memories were formed. I mean, hell, I've loved wrestling since I saw War to Sell the Score when I was 4 years old, and it's been a lifelong, love ever since. And it's just been really, really awesome to just see how wrestling has grown and how, some things have changed for good, bad, or indifferent, and everybody has different opinions. But many of you know, because some of you are original subscribers or anywhere in between, up to new subscribers. If you're a new subscriber, hi, thank you very much for tuning in. Check out some of the backlog stuff if you would like, and I hope you stick around. Because if you're a fellow wrestling fan, you are going to certainly love, channels like this where it's just talking about wrestling. But this video is going to have a bit, a couple twists and turns and stuff like that. And whether you watch one video or all of them, and if you've watched all of those videos and you have too much time on your hands, I kid, of course. I really do appreciate it, but, I gotta throw a few jokes in there. I mean, who says I don't have too much time on my hands given how many videos I posted? So I'm going to give you a bit of a timeline on where this channel has gone. I started in 2014. And let's be honest, it had humble beginnings and into, I think it was about early 2016. It just wasn't all that good. I have since deleted any videos pre-May or June 2016 for this reason. Because the camera work wasn't all that good, the video quality was not that good, the audio quality was fine, but sometimes just basically I needed to use different software. I had to switch full-time to YouTube, and then it has worked a whole lot better ever since. And the channel has grown. Now, I gotta be honest also, I was considering shutting down this channel at the end of 2016, and there was a reason for that. Partly because I wasn't gaining as much traction, even though I was doing, I was doing some good views, but since I was just one person, I'm just one man, I'm a one-man YouTuber, doesn't quite work with the lyrics, I was thinking about shutting it down. And then my best friend, Chris, aka the Durbinator, came in as far as, being, a fellow creator with me. And he added a whole lot of spice to the channel in regards to a different view. We could bounce jokes off of each other. And also he did some title card stuff and some fancy things and everything. And whenever we could do videos, wrestling videos, or even the occasional movie review, it was a whole lot of fun because it was nice. It took a lot of effort. But since he's a computer whiz and he knows what the fuck he's doing, he added a whole lot to the videos. Now, in regards to my best friend, he's still my best friend, and he's my best friend first, and he's, fellow content creator / wrestling fan aficionado second. So when is he going to come back? He hasn't been on the channel, I believe, since the March 9th Raw. I think that was the last one that had fans, and that was last year, by the way. And ever since then, he's been taking care of things and, doing stuff with his life and everything and working hard as he always has and everything. And, he's the brother I never had. Love him like a brother. I take a fucking bullet for the guy. But I want to say I don't know when or even if he's going to come back. Eventually, we'll do some videos and stuff like that, I'm sure. But work, life, family, and stuff like that will always take, center stage. And I'm not talking about the rom-com that came out around the same year as Bring It On. But anyway, enough about that. He can do whatever he wants. I still keep in contact with him. He's a great guy, and I'm not going to give details, and there's nothing bad, but it's not my place to give details. Maybe we will do a Real Honest Radio podcast, an audio thing, and we'll just talk about what we've gone, talk about what the last year and a half has meant to us and everything and all the stuff that we've gone through. Because everybody's been dealing with this pandemic, and especially, honestly, since January of last year, and I'm only going to say last year, I've had some ups and downs myself. Now, many have had way more downs. I never try to say that my problems are really that important, and I've actually kind of tamped down my own problems and listened to other people with theirs, which has had an adverse effect on things, and this is where the real talk portion comes in. But I was at an indie show with Chris, and that was in January, and then we went to one in February. Now, the January one, I don't know what it was, but I just felt, something felt a little bit off. And since then, it's been a back and forth, pendulum, up and down, that kind of stuff. And Then we went to a show in February, which was in Everett, which is only 20 miles from, it's only 20 miles from my house, so it's not that far. And after that, everything shut down, and we're just now getting indie shows back. I'm going to be going to a couple shows in Everett because they're more accessible, and also they're more affordable. I mean, not even cheap at all, because like the production values are great, but they are more of a family. And the one in Seattle, while great, don't get me wrong, Defy, I have to pick and choose when I can go to those. I do encourage people to support their local independent wrestling. You know, you never know what stars you'll meet, and you never know what future stars you will see. And since these men and women have busted their asses, doesn't matter, LGBTQ, straight, doesn't matter, sexual, any of that. Doesn't matter about gender, doesn't matter. They work hard and they beat their bodies up, and we need to support them as all wrestling fans. We need to be a wrestling fan community that is positive. Now, I am going to go back to these shows and stuff like that, but it's not going to be the same without going with my best friend. Now, again, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm not upset at all. I wish him nothing but the best, and he's still my best friend. But I just feel the need to say that here. And Derp, if you haven't been watching this, love you like a brother, man. You keep doing you keep working hard, because you have certainly more than earned everything that you have in your life. Because I knew things would succeed for you. I knew you would do well, and you have. So now let's talk a little bit more about some of the stuff I've been going through. And then I'll kind of wrap this up with a bit of a channel update thing at the end, because I did get a little bit of stuff like that. I've done short form videos like this on Twitter, and I've addressed, it briefly in some reviews, but I don't like to get too bogged down, but this is a bit of a different video. I have had massive, depression and anxiety bouts, to the point where I have thought I may need to get help, but also what I may need is just a change. I may need a change in routine, and, with stuff I do for the channel, stuff I do in life, because a lot of the weeks all blend together. Now, that's been the case with the pandemic, because especially when theaters were shut down, because that was something I used to do. I watched 138 movies last year that were released last year, plus some retro stuff. I dived into so many videos, and it was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I loved entertaining people. Doing the last year of WCW, I'm currently doing the Invasion angle, though the views have kind of really tapered off with that. But the whole point is, I did a lot of content. A lot of people reached out to me and said, thank you for doing this. It really has helped with, during lockdown, stuff like that. And all I am is just a wrestling fan. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a YouTube influencer. I'm not any of that. And I never try to claim to be a celebrity. It just means that people love my passion for professional wrestling and movies and stuff like that. It just means a lot. So I thank you for that. I thank you for making me feel like, my content actually means something, whether you agree or disagree with me. And if you disagree with me, all good. I mean, because I'm just one person. I'm not going to tell you that your opinion's wrong. I may, get a little bit boisterous when it comes to certain opinions on politics and stuff like that, and let that bleed over to wrestling reviews. And if that bothers you guys, well, too bad. I'm going to continue to do that, because these things need to be called out. And I don't care if it costs me viewers or it costs me subscribers or what. I don't monetize my channel, so I can do whatever I want. Within reason, of course. I don't call for the heads of people and stuff like that. I just state my opinions. Now, it has really, really been a struggle the last 6 months. And I've been thinking about making changes as far as, work and stuff like that, and trying to get a more consistent schedule, where instead of basically opening some shifts and then closing some shifts, and not having, even though I have consistent money, not having consistent where it's like, okay, I have this set, this set number of shifts, and then I can, have these days off, and I can relax, and I can unwind. It's been one thing after another, after another, after another, and I just have gotten to the point where I need to make a change. Now, in regards to the change to the channel, you may see a few less weekly reviews, and here's why. I want to go through what I usually post weekly. Raw, AEW Dark Elevation, NWA Power, AEW Dark, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown. Now, that right there, that's 7 videos. Now, I have no problem doing so. Like, Raw gets me a lot of views. Dark Elevation, at least, sometimes will have some decent moments. I gotta be in, in NXT, it still has some good talent, even if the product's kind of bland. And then you have Dynamite that now the crowds are coming back, or crowds have come back for the last few weeks. It's gotten pretty energetic. Whether the product's great or not is subject to debate. SmackDown has been the more consistent show that hasn't been all that bad as far as WWE goes. But two of those I left out, Dark and NWA Power. If you noticed, I haven't reviewed all that much New Japan in the past, pretty much since about March. Like, I've reviewed maybe 10 shows since March. There's a reason for that. I still love New Japan, and I watch what I can, but the views took such a dip, and if there's not interest, and if I'm not as interested in the product, why not review less? I will review the G1, because it's the G1, and it's been a blast in 2018, 2019, even last year, even with the restrictions and stuff like that. But AEW Dark is probably going to go by the wayside. I'm probably going to cut that because it hasn't really been that enjoyable. Like, some of the matches aren't even that bad, but they're just matches for the sake of it. It's just to get people, get people into it a little bit and get people some ring time, like some contracted talents, and maybe give people a look that, like, oh, this person's really cool. Let's give them a shot. It made sense during the pandemic to have Dark and then, do Dark Elevation and really start that one. I think Dark's going to go away once Rampage comes along, and that's probably why I'm going to just cut out Dark altogether. Now for the NWA. I want to say right now that I wish the NWA nothing but the best in their future. No, I wish the NWA nothing but the best, and I do like some of the talents, and I do like the throwback feel. The pandemic really hurt them. It really, really hurt them. And it's gotten to the point where even they came back with a pay-per-view that was what it was. And then they had to build up some stories and get stuff back in motion because they lost a lot of talent. Okay, that's understandable. And then they did the second pay-per-view, When Our Shadows Fall, and it was not met with the best reception, and also nobody really watched it. I think I was one of the only people that really reviewed it. And since then, I've watched it because I want to try and review every single company that I can. And I know it seems like, maybe I don't want to seem like I'm whining. I'm not, because I love wrestling and I want to see wrestling succeed. But if I'm not enjoying something and the interest isn't there, that video, the NWA videos and the AEW Dark videos are the lowest ones by far as views and interactions and stuff like that. Now, anything else, I get pretty good interactions on. So I might end up dropping the NWA weekly reviews, or at least doing every 2 weeks, because there's just not enough meat to it. And I know that it's episodic television, you have to go with that, and I get it, but I may end up dropping that as well, because if I'm only watching it out of habit and I'm only getting maybe a couple nuggets that I'm enjoying, is it really worth it? And also the views for that show have taken quite a bit of a dip, because I think a lot of people have really given up on the NWA, even though there are some talents trying, and they got their Empower pay-per-view coming up and their NWA 73rd anniversary show coming up the day after. Now, the future of this channel is going to include the occasional breaks, because I have not been giving myself a whole lot of break time, as I've been wanting to produce content. None of you guys have asked me to overproduce on content. This has been strictly on me. I want to say that right now. It's strictly on me. I'm not a person that is going to, shove my responsibility or, what I do off on anybody else. I've gotten many requests for people from people that want me to watch something, and I do what I can. I've neglected on the movie reviews. I think I've only done maybe 30 this year, plus some retro stuff. I think I've actually done as many retro movie reviews as I've done movies that were released this year. I want to try and make sure I adjust things to take care of myself, first and foremost. I'm trying to get more sleep at night, and not because that's been a big issue, since I haven't slept all that well. If I try to do that, then maybe I can make the videos even better, because I feel I've been lacking when it comes to any stuff that I do for you guys. And that hasn't been the case. Many of you have reached out and said that, I'm doing great, and I really do appreciate it. And I like constructive criticism as well. But really, I just want to try and adjust some stuff and maybe cut a couple videos out that I do weekly. And even if it costs me some views, it is what it is. Because if if I'm just doing it for views, am I really doing it to enjoy it? So I am still going to produce content. I want to close with this. The reason that I'm thinking about cutting stuff down is since January of last year to now, I crunched the numbers. I've done nearly 1,300 videos, and they've equaled about 262,000 some odd views. That's a lot of stuff. That's really a lot of stuff. And, Chris Derb was part of the first couple months of that, but he's been doing his own thing, as I said earlier, and I've been producing the content on my own. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I've enjoyed it, but I'm burned out, guys. I'm really, really burned out, and I've been burned out for a while, and I've been trying to push it off. And with a lot of stuff that's going on, I'm going to keep doing stuff. But if you get breaks, like if there's a time where, like, say I post the stuff on Tuesday and you don't see anything else until the Dynamite review, and then you don't see anything else until the SmackDown review, and maybe you don't get anything on the weekend, don't worry. I need to give myself a bit of a break, and I need to take care of myself, and I need to make sure that I'm good to be able to keep producing content properly instead of just feeling like a machine is churning stuff out. And I want to say once again, this is all on me. It's not on you guys. But that's really where I just wanted to, kind of close up this video. So I do want to thank every single person for watching this video and other videos. You guys have meant a lot. You guys have been awesome. And there will still be channel content. But there's also going to maybe be a drop in retro reviews as well. I'll try to continue some stuff that I've been doing, but since some things are doing really well and other things aren't doing well, I need to figure out what does best, so I'm not producing just stuff just because. I need to produce stuff that will actually, be enjoyable but also provide views, because otherwise it's just me, using up time and everything, and if nobody's going to watch, why bother? So that's really all I got to say right there. Bit of a long video, but I want to thank you guys. You guys have helped me through a lot of anxiety and depression. You guys have helped me through a lot of bouts, a lot of days where I don't want to wake up, and I really, really mean that. You guys have been great. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Reckland. I'll see you soon.